Good evening from New York. I'm Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS As It Is. Let us chat again. As a people, Guyanese have succeeded in spite of many challenges and setbacks, putting Guyana center stage as one of the most promising countries in the region. But even though Guyanese continue to astonish the world, it is often behind the scenes, quiet, humble, and unassuming. However, to inspire and motivate our young, the true architects of our future, I believe it is important that we must find a way to share and tell these stories. CWS, as it is, strives to give that platform where people can be their best selves as they share their stories, all in the interest of encouraging others. This evening, we're going to start off with Mr. Rickford Burke, the gentleman. Let me rephrase that. The handsome gentleman next to me. Rickford, good evening and welcome to CWS As It Is again.
Good evening, Colin. Thank you for having me. Good evening to your listeners.
All right, Rickford, I think we're not hearing you too clearly, so you got to pitch your voice a little bit more.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, that's much better. Awesome. On May 26, 2016, the Cooperative Republic is going to celebrate its Golden Jubilee Independence anniversary. One can only imagine what it will take in terms of planning and cost to commemorate such a milestone, Mr. Burke. You are the chairman of the planning committee. What is the official name of this committee and how many people make up the team?
Well, of course, I'm the chair of the planning committee for New York. The name is the Guyana's 50th Independence Anniversary Celebration Committee, New York. The committee comprises 131 persons from every facet of the Guyanese society. And we have divided the committee into 14 subcommittees. So as you know, it's very hard to manage a committee of 131 persons. So we have 14 subcommittees. And so far, the committee has been doing well. We have a plan in place for the 50th anniversary next year, and we're in the implementation phase right now.
How does or did one become involved with this? How did this membership take? What was the process for membership?
Well, a few persons who had the idea discussed it with some persons in the government. They encouraged them to discuss it with the consulate. So they got together with the consulate and they broached this idea with the Consul General. There was another meeting held with a wider group. I was on my way to that meeting when I was told that I was elected the president of the chairman of the committee. When I got there, I accepted, and so I became the chair. Immediately after that, we sent out letters to about 1,300 Guyanese individual and organizations, letting them know that we have established this committee, and if they wish to be a part of it, they can communicate their interest and their contact information to the consulate. So we sent out that information to most of the Guyanese organizations, if not their members. Persons contacted the consulate, organizations that wished to be represented, nominated individuals to be on the committee. We wrote all the political parties in Parliament, inviting them to be on the committee. And so those parties are represented on the committee as well. So it's a very broad-based committee that, as I said, represents every aspect of the Guyanese society, and we're moving forward to plan this event.
When the responses start coming in, were you encouraged? Did it trickle in, or it came in drove?
Oh, absolutely not. It came in droves. Up to now, people are still expressing interest in joining the committees. You know, it's becoming unmanageable, but if we need a particular expertise and someone has that skill, we'll be happy to have them included on the committee. If there are organizations that still exist that want to be part of the committee, they can contact the consulate or myself or the secretary, who's Lord Ferguson, and we'll be happy to include them in the committee. The process, as I said, has started. We're functioning in subcommittees. So if persons have an interest in any particular subcommittee, we'll also be happy to have them join the committee.
Rickford, anyone who knows you and knows your organization know that you're no stranger to working on behalf of Guyana and trying to make Guyana a better country. Why get involved in this 50th anniversary celebration?
Well, I'm a patriot. I love my country, and I'll do anything for the development or to further the interests of the country. And so it was a no-brainer for me. I had to consider the challenge because it's a Herculean task. But again, I have the assistance of 131 plus persons. And so we'll cooperatively, together as Guyanese, plan this celebration. It would be, I promise you and your listeners, the greatest celebration Guyanese have ever seen. The celebration will take place subsequent to the celebration in Guyana, and it would be June 4th to 12th. We have 9 events planned over that period, and the events are spread out throughout the boroughs and in New Jersey. So again, it would be hosted in areas where we have large Guyanese American communities, so everybody can feel included. Coming away from this celebration, we want to make sure that we communicate a vision for harmony, for unity and inclusiveness, and for the modernization of Guyana. And so the theme of our celebration is Guyana at 50, reflect the journey, forging unity, embracing modernity. And the vision communicated in the theme, as I said, we want to make sure that through the celebration, while we're promoting harmony and unity, we're also promoting the development of the country. So from this celebration, we hope that we in the diaspora would have established the architecture for further diaspora engagement in the development of our homeland and the modernization of our homeland.
That said, Rickford, what do you say to those who are constantly bashing each other, that we can't work together, that whenever Guyanese get into a room to plan anything, egos come into play, experience comes into play, and nothing ever gets done? What are you finding? What can you say to that?
Well, our committee is so diverse. We have Chedi Jagan II, who is Dr. Chedi Jagan's grandson, on the committee. We have several other members from the PPP. We have persons from from the Alliance for Change. We have persons from the APNU. We have persons from all facets of Guyanese society, every color, every race. The committee is truly a microcosm of our Guyanese society. One of the things I'm proud about is we have come together to work for a common good. And that good is to ensure that we promote the interests of the country, that we celebrate in an appropriate way this historic journey, this milestone that is once in a lifetime, a Golden Jubilee celebration. And so far, we've done well. Everyone has put politics aside, and this is really, I've discovered, an opportunity to foster interpersonal relationships, to foster intercultural interaction. We learn so much about each other's culture in this process of planning. And this will be a demonstration of the good that could come when Guyanese put aside political differences and work for the common good, which is the interest of the country.
You've just answered my next question. What is your vision for this celebration? And nicely put. I hope that, and I'm optimistic that this is going to work out.
I'm confident it will.
I want to open up that question, or what you just said, a little bit. What would you like the underlying message of this celebration to be?
The underlying message is, as I said before, and it's communicated through our theme.
Mm-hmm.
And the theme that we've selected is Guyana at 50, reflect the journey, forging unity, embracing modernity.
I like that.
What we want to communicate, and what people will see as the vision for the events unfold, is every aspect of the celebration would be illustrating the theme. We have an interfaith prayer service. That's the first event, and that's to highlight and embrace our different faiths. We have so many different faiths and religious beliefs in Guyana, and we have to, as a society, we have to embrace all of them. So that'll be the first thing. We want to embrace our faiths. The second event would be a symposium, which is the educational aspect of the celebration. That's going to examine our journey from independence to the contemporary Guyana. And we'll look at how the country has progressed. What are our developmental challenges? And lay a pathway for the development. I don't like to use development too much because it's such an abstract term. I would say modernization of the society.
Mm-hmm.
Guyanese want an ordinary way of life. For too long, over the last 20 years, we've had such challenges in society. We've had economic stagnation, social stagnation, no human development, no modernization of the country. So we want to examine this, and we want to project to the future what is necessary, what policies are necessary, for example, to develop the country. So the symposium will deal with that. On the Tuesday, we'll have an investment forum. And again, we are promoting economic development and advancement of the country, thereby economic prosperity of the people. And the symposium, that investment conference will address why Guyana is fertile for investment, why international companies and entrepreneurs should invest in Guyana. So we'll have officials from the government ministers, persons from the banking industry, the private sector commission, all of them coming to New York to tell international foreign investors and other foreign investors, or Guyanese, including Guyanese business people, why they should invest in Guyana. On the Wednesday, we have Guyana Gives Back. We're focused on our sense of community. All Guyanese professionals, we're arranging and coordinating for them to, on that day, give back to the community. So we'll have medical doctors in Brooklyn and Queens at the Central Station running free clinics. We'll have nurses working along with them. We'll have dietitians and dentists along with them. Attorneys will be doing free legal services. Social workers, persons who are housing experts can look at landlord tenancy issues. Counselors, whether it's grief counselors, guidance counselors, social workers, every Guyanese professional we're going to coordinate to give back on that day. Additionally, we'll arrange for food to be delivered to homeless shelters, homeless children, police precincts, fire service. We're thanking them for their service to our community, all communities in the city, that includes Guyanese Americans. We want to make sure that we serve that community back on that day. On the Thursday, we'll do, as a matter of fact, sorry, I skipped the Monday. The Monday, we'll do a reception at the United Nations to honor Guyana's 50th year of membership in the United Nations. And that we've invited the Prime Minister and the United Nations Secretary General to be involved, to be the guests of honor at that cocktail reception. On the Thursday, we'll all go to New Jersey, and we'll have a massive flag raising, reminiscent of the lowering of the Union Jack at Independence and the hoisting of the golden arrowhead, which is our flag. And of course, that'll be held in New Jersey. The prayer service will be held in Queens. The symposium will be held in Queens. Guyana Gives Back will be both in Queens and Brooklyn. The United Nations reception will be held, of course, in Manhattan. And then on the Friday night, we'll have a grand cultural extravaganza in Brooklyn to showcase our cultural diversity and our rich cultural heritage. We'll see every aspect of Guyanese culture on display. It will be an extravaganza, something to behold. Let me go back. On the Saturday night after the prayer service, we'll have a grand unity concert. I don't want to say too much about that. We're now putting the plans in place. Hopefully, it will involve Guyanese celebrities, international artists, and we'll showcase Guyana's talent in the international community. And of course, that will probably be held in Brooklyn or Queens. We're now trying to tie those arrangements down. On the Saturday, which would be the 11th of June, we'll have a President's Cup soccer tournament and Youth Fun Day. We're catering for young people, and that will be held in Brooklyn. On the Saturday night, after the Fun Day, we'll have a state dinner, an official state dinner in honor of the head of state of Guyana, President Granger, and that will be held at the Sheraton Hotel in Manhattan. And at that event, the president is expected to announce national awards for members of the diaspora, and there'll be more to be said about that. And on the Sunday, the 12th of June, will be the grand finale. We'll have a big mashromani in New York, and a big rally to culminate that, where the president will address the Guyanese American community here in Brooklyn. So it's a huge task. We have committees planning all of these events. Of course, we'll have lots of memorabilia and souvenirs available. We'll have our federal officials. We'll have the mayor. We'll have the governor. We plan also during the prayer service to honor Officer Randolph Holder, who was killed in the line of duty and buried in Guyana last week.
Rickford, how do these various events come about?
The committee brainstormed and came up with these events. We challenged everyone to go into their respective subcommittees and come back with recommendations to the committee. The committee is structured like a big organization. We have the full committee, then we have a planning committee, and then we have an executive committee. The planning committee, by our constitution, is the decision-making forum where all those decisions are made, and the executive committee, which comprises all the elected officers and our government officials, Council General, ambassadors, that would make decisions for the organization in between planning committee meetings. The planning committee is made up of all elected members of the committee, as well as all chairs and co-chairs of the subcommittees.
Let me go to the chat room for a second. Eileen asks, what about the cost of this celebration?
That is yet to be determined. We have a fundraising committee that would put together a fundraising plan, that has put together a fundraising plan, which is about to be approved and implemented. That plan will, of course, include special fundraising events, your normal, maybe a raffle, a reception, a tea party, a party, and of course, sponsorships from both Guyanese and businesses based in the United States.
Eileen, again, I guess it's a similar question. Is it difficult to pay for this?
We don't think so. It's a huge task, but we're up to the challenge. We have a skilled team of fundraising experts and marketing executives who are all Guyanese, all volunteering, who is tasked with raising the funds to ensure that this event is successful.
Okay, and Jerry, cost of admission, will this be affordable for the average family?
I'm positive that it will.
Katie, how does one get tickets for these events?
Tickets primarily would be sold via our website, which is being constructed at the moment. And the website would be Celebrate Guyana's 50th in NYC.com. Celebrate Guyana's 50th in NYC.com. We'll have a massive public relations campaign, public awareness campaign, diaspora engagement. This information will be known. We'll also have tickets at specified locations. You can get tickets on whether it's Ticketmaster, at specific locations on the website, at the consulate. As I said, we're now putting these plans together, and we will invest a lot of time and resources in ensuring that we reach every single Guyanese in the United States.
Amen.
All measures will be implemented.
Awesome.
Ensure
a quick question. Celebrate Guyana's 50th in NYC.com. Is the 50th 50th or you spell out 50th?
550th.
All right, thank you. And Katie, again, what are some highlights you want to focus on?
Well, the first thing I want to focus on is the religious service. We want to pray for healing of our nation. We want to pray for unity and harmony, and we want to pray for the effective functioning of our government. So that's the first highlight. The second thing I want us to do, I would like to focus on, is our rich culture, and I would like to invite all of us to celebrate every aspect of the Guyanese culture. Last night I was at Diwali, the Diwali celebration in Queens. I was able to reconnect with so many friends from Hindu College, where I attended in Guyana. And I again, basically had to reaffirm my appreciation for diversity. And I wish that all Guyanese can share in that celebration and enrich and enhance their Guyanese identities. It's the only unique thing we have. Our Guyanese identity, this oneness, that's what binds us together. And I hope that we'll see it on display as we celebrate our Golden Jubilee anniversary.
What about suggestions or feedback? Is there room for those?
Sure. On the website, and I spoke about that in the document that we've prepared, which will become public shortly. We would want people's feedback, we would want people's suggestions, and they can go on the website and do that. One of the other things that the website will do is bring the Guyanese community together. We will ask every Guyanese in the United States and probably beyond to go to the website to register so that we could stay in touch with them beyond the celebration. We want to map where Guyanese are. We want to map where Guyanese resources are. We want to have a reservoir of Guyanese professionals so that we could promote that throughout the Guyanese community and to the government in Guyana. So that if there's a specific need for an expertise or a particular skill set, you can reach out to Guyanese community and engage them. That's what we should do. Other communities do it. The Jewish community does it. The Haitians do it. Guyanese have to now assert themselves in the United States. We are the 4th largest immigrant bloc in New York State. You know, the census has showed us that there are more Guyanese than Haitians.
What?
Yes, it's the Dominicans. The Dominicans, I don't remember who's number 2. Number 3 is Jamaica. Number 4 is Guyanese. So we're also the we receive the highest paid. We're the highest paid income community, immigrant community in New York.
I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yes.
See, this is why it's important to have these shows.
Yes.
Rickford, I have a question for you. If you were in a room with the late Presidents LFS Bornham, Dr. Chetty Jagan, President Hoyt, Janet Jagan, Dr. Rodney, what would you believe? What do you think they will be saying to you about this 50th anniversary? What do you imagine they might want to say to you about the 50th anniversary?
Well, I don't know any of those persons except for President Hoyt, but I know of their contribution to the history of our country. What I would have hoped that they would tell us or tell me is, one, what it was like fighting for independence, fighting for the sovereignty and adult suffering of the Guyanese people. Also, I would want them to relate to me their experience in coming together to work on this project of independence. Just like everybody should be coming together now to work on this project of the 50th and the celebration of our 50th anniversary of independence. And I would want to learn from them what their thoughts are on uniting the Guyanese people. I think it's a tragedy that over the last 50 years, our nation our people have been divided. I think my generation and the ones that have come after have to solve this problem. I think we've made progress with the election of this coalition government, but we have miles and miles and miles to go. We have to start understanding that we are one people. Yes, we might have different faiths, we might have different religious beliefs, we come from different backgrounds, we are made up of different ethnicities and races, but at the end of the day, we are one people. We are one race, right? The Guyanese race. We're one nation, the Guyanese nation. And our country can only be developed and we can only attain the next level of development that we envision if we come together in the interests of the country and develop the country. We have to make sure that we fight for social transformation. We have to lift those people up who are poor. We have to try to ensure that we have a high quality and standard of living in Guyana. We have to make sure that we provide the Guyanese people with the basic necessities that people all over the world enjoy. Good water supply, good electricity system, a modern society, a democratic government with a democratic process. All of these things the Guyanese people want, and we can only do it if we come together as one. And that's why our theme of this celebration is Guyana at 50. Reflect the journey, we have to learn from it. That will shape our future, but that future must also involve unity and harmony of the people and moving forward to embrace modernity and modernizing the country.
Rickford, I want to take you back in time a little. Of most of the people that I know, you have worked perhaps the closest with the late President Hoyt. He has mentored you, as you've told me before, and you know a lot of things about him and his thoughts and how he views things. What can you say for sure was his belief about the importance of uniting all our races in Guyana?
Well, that concept originally was taught to me, basically, by President Hoyt. One of the things he always said to us is, in every single thing we do, it must reflect inclusiveness. I think his presidency brought to the forefront the need for a united country. President Hoyt had 16 cabinet members. 9 were of Indo-Guyanese, 18. I think about thereabout. But half were black and half were Indians. You would recall that he was so inclusive that people named him Desmond Passad, because he always made sure that in every single thing he did, every policy that he enacted, it catered for a diverse society. He made sure that all the interests of every part of the Guyanese, different facets of the Guyanese society were met, were included in decision-making of the country, at the decision-making table of the country, and that all those interests are met. And I think that is a blueprint for how we should proceed as a nation. We had a setback after he left office. That is behind us. It was a very unfortunate period of our history. But it's behind us now. We are more optimistic. We should be more optimistic as a people, as a nation. We have a coalition government that truly reflects the diversity of our society. And I think all of us have an obligation to work along with this government to make sure we meet those two objectives that we've set for the celebration: uniting the country, modernizing the country. The economic prosperity of the country and the people are foremost and should be the supreme priority for the government and the people of Guyana.
You know what I get from this theme, Rickford, is Guyana celebrates its past as it looks towards its future. Am I on the right track?
Exactly.
All right. Rickford, I want to ask you a quick question before you get off. I mean, it's 4:30 already.
Sure.
What have you seen so far? What have you been seeing about the planning committee and the progress that encourages you to be optimistic?
One of the things that I'm really, really happy and proud about is how we've come together, how we're working together. As I said, interpersonal relationships that have developed. We're learning about each other. There's so much misperceptions about Rickford Burke, right? Because I've been a champion of justice. So you have people conjured up all sorts of, but now they're sitting with me and we're interacting and we're planning, and they understand some of my personal beliefs. They understand that I'm a Christian, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I have certain principles that I would never deviate from. It's appreciated. I also have developed that level of appreciation for some of my colleagues. We're learning as we explore this celebration. We're learning about the different cultural diversities. I'm learning about so many different denominations within the Christian religion, so many different groups within the Hindu religion and so on. So it's a good thing that we're doing this because we're learning so much. The other thing is that I've learned to realize that all of us love our country. We're patriots. We have a different perspective of what needs to be done and how it should be done. We are of different political backgrounds and political parties and all that, but we put all of that aside. And the major thing that the major message that I want to send is that when we come together as Guyanese and we put aside our political and personal differences and we focus on the interests of the country and the people of Guyana, great things can be done. And that is why the 50th anniversary Golden Jubilee celebration in New York will be the greatest celebration Guyanese have ever seen. Why? Because we've come together, regardless of our differences, to put on the greatest show that we'll see as a people.
Thank you, sir. What a positive, high note to end on. Thank you very much, Mr. Burke. I'll be inviting you back again sometime soon, my brother. So
I'll be happy.
Pencil me in your busy schedule.
I will.
All right, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.